What's going on? I'm excited tonight for this interview that I'm doing. For those of you that are following, please subscribe. Follow this man right here, Rayzfadez, on Instagram and on Facebook. Tonight he's gonna be sharing his story with us. He's gonna be telling us about how much everything that he's done, everything that has brought him up in this journey, how he has gotten where he's at. Ray is somebody that I really look up to. I love his work ethic. I've seen him for the past year going hard. He's grinding. That's the reason why I brought him on today to this channel, to give him this interview, give him that opportunity first from my first interview on my channel. All right, so make sure you guys follow Ray's. I'm gonna have to start this over, bro. Today we have on This Is Nino's YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button here. I don't know yet where it's gonna be at, right? But make sure you hit follow. Tonight we're gonna be talking to Rayzfadez from Punta Gorda, Florida. He's gonna be giving us his story on how his journey has been throughout the barber industry and everything that he's been doing, the reason why he's doing everything, how he got here. So make sure you guys go follow Rayzfadez on Instagram and on Facebook. He's going to tell us all about his story tonight. So make sure you show him some love. Stay tuned. He's our first interviewer for my channel. So let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Ray Faye, for your time. I know you could be using your time on something else, something, maybe more productive for yourself. So I'm great. I'm grateful for you being on this interview with us today. So tell us a little bit about how it went down for you, how you started in this industry.
Well, I appreciate you coming on here, Nino, and calling me out for this first interview. I'm honored to be on here and I'm excited, bro. I appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? And how I get started with the barbering game, well, bro, it picked up at home, man. My father was me and my three brothers barber. So it went from him giving us the bowl cut for years to me starting to tell my father, you know what, man, can we start going to the barber shops, which he started taking us. And then from there, bro, just seeing the atmosphere, seeing my barber. Then when we started going home, I started picking up the clippers and start cutting my brothers and the neighbors. And it just became the little neighborhood barber shop, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of barbers start basically from the garage or from the backyard, really. You know what I'm saying? So from there, I just kept cutting hair and eventually my barber, he kept hearing that I was cutting hair. And he just kept telling me, he's like, yo, go to school. And, sometimes we procrastinate or something like that, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, you start working in construction, I used to sell cars, cut grass. I've done it all, man. And just something, man, one day I called the school and they said, well, if you come in, I called them like on Thursday. They're like, if you come in tomorrow, you bring us all the paperwork and everything, you can start Monday. So I brought everything. So when I showed to the school, they saw I had everything, transcripts, everything I needed, and I got accepted like that. So that movement right there was just like, okay, everything is falling in place already. So that's how I started. It went from me watching my barber to me becoming a barber to, what I'm saying, now owning the shop and then now starting a couple events that I'm trying to get myself into now.
That's dope. That's dope. And did you didn't start out in Puerto Rico, did you?
No, no. I started off over here in Port Charlotte. I went to Cape Coral Technical.
Awesome, man. And you work with any of the people that you went to school with? Any barbers around your area, stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, or
It
no?
was start. Well, I started off in Cape and over there in Charlotte County. Did the cosmetology. And in 2015, I decided to, after I was doing barbering for a while at a shop, I decided to go back to school. I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and let me get my barber license. Eventually set it up for, I can own a barber shop, run the barber shop. So I decided to go back to school in 2015 to Sun State Academy, which Sean Casey, the owner of Twin Cuts in Fort Myers, he has in Cape Coral, he has some in Naples. He actually was teaching there as a teacher.
Wow,
So
that's pretty cool, man. And to be in from that, I know Twin Cuts. He works with Hanzo's, right?
yeah,
He's
yep,
actually an ambassador with Hanzo. That's something pretty cool. Now that I see that you're actually coming up with an event, with Twin Cuts, that's pretty cool. Um, you know, for those of you that want to see what event we're talking about, I'm gonna post this flyer here, so you guys can see about it. If you want to give us a little bit more about how did that happen? How do you go from from being a student with a person like Twin Cuts? Also, I seen Stilo Barber is gonna be there, and
Chico Boom.
Chico Boom. That's something pretty big. How did you get to that part to be able to you know because I've seen you the last past year. You've been grinding so hard. I remember I met you this same time last
Yeah,
year. I was hosting an event, for those that don't know,
Barber.
Barber Battle Zone out of Lakeland. You drove 2 hours up, right, to spend that time with us.
Yeah.
So it's crazy just to see the growth on with everything that's going on within a year. How you've come up so fast, and now people are getting to see your work ethic on how hard you've been working and stuff like that. And now you telling me that Twin Cuts was your teacher. How did you make it to be able to lock arms with this guy and be able to work side to side?
Well, before I went to barber school, when I was working at some shops, I decided to, you know what? Every single day that I go to the shop, I'm gonna check in on Facebook. I'm here. I'm here. Did that for years. So when I started following Sean, Chico, I started following them way back, like in, I don't know, 2013, 2014, and we just kicked it off. And every time that they did a class, I was there. I was all up in their classes, getting, their certifications and stuff, and just networking with them. So when I was starting to go to school, I started seeing that, working in some shops that are closed-minded, they just want to keep you behind the doors and just cutting. And you start asking them, yo, can we do classes? They look at you like, they kind of give you a hard problem because you're leaving work.
Yeah,
So it took me a while to find other shops where they were like, you know what, you do what you got to do, man. As long as you pay the rent, do what you got to do. So I saw where it was important to always back up somebody else's dream, especially in the industry that we're in. If he wants to put a class, I'm there. Eventually, I'm saying, if I want to do a class, I can get some type of support or even that how to do it from them because they got experience, past experience. So working there, go to school there at Sun State. Me and Sean already kind of knew each other, but we never worked side by side. And he kind of just took me under his wing. He advanced where I was at. He advanced me even more. But then he opened the networking side. He opened up the important of continuing education and starting going to like the premiere shows.
which
It
I
kind of
believe.
got it got me inspired to wanting to do more than just cut hair.
That's
You know what
dope.
I'm saying? So when in 2015, I was going through school and all that. I have three daughters. and their mom passed away during that year. So on top of
Wow.
on top of me driving every day to school, I was driving 45 minutes. I was in the middle of the course, and I had a change, a 360 change. You get what I'm saying? So now I went
No,
from
I can
from
imagine because going having three kids. I mean, me myself personally, I have three kids, and I get help, which is a great thing. I'm appreciated from that. Because but even if you're separated with your baby mother or whatever, it still helps. But
yeah
having
to have
to
that
take that
help.
full on responsibility, in a situation like that, um, where like you said, you're in the middle of school, you're looking to be able to choose a different career. It must have been so much harder for you to be able to overpass that, you know. Um, but you've shown that your willpower is bigger than anything else.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
now I got my daughters, and it's to the point that my focus on my energy and my reason is them, and knowing that our lives are timed, we just never know. It kind
hmm
of gave me that extra focus on where I wanted to go in this industry.
yeah, because it's like they said, you got two dates in this life, right? The day you were born, and the day you die, right? It's what you do in between that little dash in between those two dates.
Don't
It's what
stop.
makes a difference, right? And I like I said, I salute you, man. I've been seeing everything you've been doing, and all the work you've been putting in. Obviously going through, having an event and a
Yeah.
week away. I remember like yesterday we were talking about it. A week away, you went from September all the way to March, grinding and going to all the events, being in people's spaces, actually trying to promote an event that you dreamed of, you know, all of your life, which was a conversation that we had several times. Um, if you want to talk a little bit about it, how did Top Notch come up to hand?
Top notch, man. Well, like you said, I was working in a barbershop in the Cape. Um, the guys pushed me to do a class. So I did a class in September last year. I call it Tricks of the Trades. So then after the class, they were like, "Yo, when are you gonna do a barber battle? Because you're always talking about doing all this stuff, but you haven't put it." And shout out to Fade in the Case because they were the ones. Angel, he owns the barbershop. He was the one that kind of pushed me to do it. And on top of me being a substitute teacher, to shout out Cape Tech here in Cape Coral in Florida, and the teacher, Miss Stephanie, she kind of got me into that. She opened up other avenues that I needed to find sponsors and vendors for that. So it was just a talk. It never went to happen for like a year and a half. But then I like where I met you at the Barber Battle Zone. When I walked in there and I got the vibe, the atmosphere, what I'm saying? You were walking up and down, hosting it with Speedy, what I'm saying? Like it kind of like, damn, it triggered, it sparked what I needed to spark. You know what I'm saying? I left, you know how they talk about if you go to a class, a seminar, if you can come back with one thing, it was well worth the trip.
Mm-hmm.
I put $25,
That's a
put,
fact. That's a fact. And you come back to work with so much more energy. You come so
look what
hyped up,
happened.
right? Which is what I think a lot of barbers are missing out. A lot of barbers don't get the fact of what these events actually do to you. The people you get to meet. A year ago, I probably would have never known who you were. You know what I mean? If I would never, obviously, at one point or another, with the work ethic, with the work you've been putting in, it was gonna come to a point to where you're gonna run either cross my way. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna see
yeah,
you at some point. But definitely would have taken a lot longer than what it took.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but for those upcoming barbers, man, old barbers that believe that these events don't do nothing, da da da. Listen, they're a big role. I believe they're a big role in in your life if you put the work, right? If you go network, if you go with a different purpose. I've always learned, man, when you go to event, when you go to places, I had mentors tell me a lot of times, go out on purpose. When you go out on purpose, go out on purpose, go out with the purpose, right?
Yeah.
Because if when you network, make sure you ask the right questions. If you ask the right questions, if you read ask the right questions, you get the right answers, right? If you meet the right people, they can take you to the places you want to be at.
And approach
Simple as that.
everybody. Hell
Yes.
yeah, approach everybody.
And that's one of the things that I've seen from you, right? That at these events, you always been mad humble. You know what I mean? You always show love to everybody, which I love that about you, man. Keep it up. Uh,
Appreciate it.
you know what I mean? You've been putting in a lot of work. Not a lot of people are probably saying, "Well, I never know about Rayfadez." Well, if you haven't heard from Rayfadez, make sure you follow him because you're about to know who he is. All right.
I appreciate that. No, but top notch, bro. So from there, I kept pushing, and I got the deadline. Then in Punta Gorda, Florida, there's a convention center. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
every day I used to drive over the bridge because I used to live in Port Charlotte, but driving to Punta Gorda, I used to drive over the bridge, and I would used to tell my brother, anybody in the car with me, yo, one day I want to do a show there. One day I want to do a show there. And I finally stopped. I talked to the lady. She sat down, explained everything. And then from there, it just like it manifested, man. I started calling the school. I started hitting you up. I will call you to ask you for advice. You know what I'm saying? Also, Thompson the barber, Stilo the barber. We got Masa, all these other barbers. Like all these guys influence and seeing the network, la asociación, how that they kind of helped each other and all that, keep each other motivated. So it just got to the point that top notch. It started off. I was okay. I was gonna get something going, but it grew bigger than what I expected, and I love every second of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing something that yeah, it was gonna. I knew it was gonna be a nice turnout, but now it's becoming a bigger turnout. It humbles me even more. It just gets to the point. I'm like, wow, man, like it's crazy. How many people also are hungry to go to these events and network and see what's new out there, learn new techniques. You know what I'm saying? And then in this industry, that's what's about handing down more information to each
Yeah.
other because at the end of the day, we're gonna die with it, so might as well have fun with it.
And it's crazy that you actually mentioned that. That's something that I see a lot in this industry. A lot of people don't want to teach what they know because they feel, especially a lot of the old head barbers, right? A lot of old head barbers, they feel like they can't share their knowledge. Oh, that if this and that, no, because I build. I've gotten where I'm at by myself. I build whatever. Well, listen, if you don't share your knowledge, and people don't know that you're knowledgeable enough to be able to be valuable to even pay for your knowledge. So when
Yeah.
I look at it, right, because a lot of people, like I see in a lot of barbershops happen, where you got the new guys come in and say, "Hey, well, can you teach me something?" Oh, if you want me to teach you something, you gotta pay. You gotta pay me. You know what I mean? That's the wrong mentality. Um, and we've always been sharing with each other new things on how to do this, how to do it, what works for me, what works for you. And that's pretty cool that that you have a different mindset. But yeah, that's something that I see a lot in this industry. Um, and that people gotta stop that ego, man. They really gotta
So
stop
what
that
it
ego.
is I feel like instead of feeling like threatened or something about like damn, if I put myself, nah, man, become that sensei, become that teacher to be like,
Yes.
yo, he was the one that taught me that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what I'd rather go as, and then that don't even talk.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I'm saying?
it's crazy. Um, So how have you been able to deal with all this? Being a single father of three, still taking out time to be able to get to these events. Did you ever see yourself in this situation? Like, obviously, I know that nobody wants to be there. Nobody even thinks about a situation like that. But I just don't get it because it's for me, and I got my significant other, my wife, right? And sometimes it's hard for us to find out how we're gonna deal with certain stuff. But how do you balance your life of being a single father? You know what I mean? Um, with three girls, which is even harder, right? Because now you I know you got to brush their hair, and they expect so much from you. How do you deal with that?
Man, I'll tell you what, bro, they don't have a book. They don't have a book. And from when everything happened and everything cleared out, I have to give a huge shout out to their mom's name was Samira, but her family, because her family has stepped up a lot, and my family too. So between both families, I feel like at first it was hard to like get them to see the vision, because they're like, oh, what is he chasing? But now that they see it, they're like, yo, whatever you need, we'll do it. You know. So the balance for me as a single father and the kids is, if they're in school, I'm at work. If they're in school, if I'm done at work. If they're in school and I'm not booked at work, I'm running around passing out flyers. I'm using those hours to do everything that I can. I don't take no days off. My days off that I do take, that you guys see me have fun and stuff, is either family days or it's gonna be barber events. My vacations, I base them around barber events. Like if I'm taking a couple days off, it's because today I'm chilling, tomorrow I'm barber event, the next day I'm chilling. That's my vacation. So anything that I do that I'm taking time off to shop is either family or to the industry. So
So
that's how
I,
basically that's how I balance it.
and that's crazy. It's crazy because it's for me sometimes it's so hard for me to sacrifice so much time away from my kids, right? But a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand because they don't get where you're going, what your vision is, where do you want to be? Um, which I heard you talk about. Uh, your family was understanding the vision. They help you out because they see what's happening. But what was your main purpose from the beginning? You know, what was your main purpose? Did you ever see yourself even as a barber, or have you ever seen yourself in the place that you're at now?
I I always said, yo, if I can make it, bro, my biggest goal, and this is what I tell everybody, I'm not out here to be the best barber. I'm not out here because there's some nasty barbers. You see it. The
Yeah.
designs are crazy. I
We
have
see it on a
fun.
daily basis, man. I think barber industry is growing so fast, man. That you got so many nasty barbers, but I think there's a piece of cake for everybody out there.
And with me is I really love my industry and I have fun with what I do. And my main goal, if you would ask Twin from when I was back in school, if you would ask the first barbershop everywhere, because everywhere I've always talked the same thing, is I want to be the person to connect everybody. I want to be the one that's saying, and it's just, and if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, bro, I'm having fun. I'm meeting hella people. Like Florida starting to become like a backyard, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
before, just Miami by itself was huge, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So now it's getting to the point where everything has just become smaller. And I love, bro. My main goal is to connect and to step foot in every single barbershop just to show love. Eventually, I will mark down all the shops that I've been to and salons, and I would like to step at least a foot in every barbershop, every salon, every studio. And it's just something, bro, that I added to my agenda to keep myself motivated, to keep myself, being behind the chair. You gotta motivate yourself, then
Yeah.
you got to balance family, father mode. So this is just a part of me that is kind of like, I can't. I once I feel comfortable, I gotta look for something else to get into.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I'm saying?
you don't want to stay complacent. Complacent gets boring. You know what I mean?
It's just my character. You know what I'm saying?
Just think about a long time relationship, doing the same thing over and over and over and over, or eating the same food over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
Right? It gets tiring. So this works the same way. So you always got to do something different to keep that vibrant in you. You know what I mean? To feel happy about what you're doing. Because barbering is something that is fun, man, but it's something that you can get tired of too. Which is something that I see a lot of barbers do. They put in 20 years, 25 years. They're tired about what they're doing. They don't treat it with respect anymore.
See,
Because
with me is I wanna evolve with the industry. You know, you
yeah,
cut hair. If not, then you start teaching. If not, you start putting shows. If not, you start teaching at shows. And I got the intrigue. I got hooked on who's the person that puts all this together.
hmm
You get what I'm saying? Like I see, like when I go to these shows, I see from the outside, and I'm like, who put all this together? So that's what intrigued me the most of everything is being that person to put everything together.
and that's dope. We need more of that. I believe 100% we need a lot more people to be able to do stuff like that. Because eventually, there's going to be one or the other people that's going to collaborate and get together and actually do um, a mega event, a major event. Stuff like Paul Mitchell's, I reckons, companies like this that are doing big things. I believe the barber industry has as much potential as the Cosmo and the any other beauty industry. You know what I mean? I feel like we're right there toe to toe with them. It's just there's a lot of people in the industry that are not doing anything to put in back into the industry. I feel like there's more people taking than actually giving back to it. Makes sense?
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, but I think we need more people like you to actually step up and bring more value into the industry, which is the purpose of why I'm doing this. The reason why I do, I'm doing these interviews and stuff like that. I want to bring more value into this industry. I want people to understand that there is people out there that care about the industry. They care about,
Oh, yeah.
putting in work to leverage everything that we have in our hand. You know what I mean? Now, think about all these companies out there that are coming out with a whole bunch of different clippers. Now we have so many options to pick from. On clippers, uh, on what do you call it, on blades. There's so
Yeah.
much to pick from because there's so many people that are wanting to elevate the industry now.
And there's a lot of companies too that are looking for barbers that are motivated, that are
Yes.
pushing, that are doing everything else from their part to collaborate.
So I believe there's so much opportunity out there, man, to grind, to put in so much work. It's just a lot. People got to step it up. I believe there's a lot of people got to step it up. Um, and like I was talking about earlier, this gets into a point to where it gets a wash, rinse, and repeat. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And when it gets to that point, man, it gets boring. People start talking about retirement. One of the things I want to talk about is retirement. What is retirement for a barber?
Retirement for barbers, bro, you put in your part.
But it's crazy because majority of the people that are barbers, those barbers that
They
stay at
spend
a
their
certain
money as quick
level,
as they make it.
I don't like to. This is another subject that I'm going to be talking about in the near future, right? But majority of the barbers, 20, 25 years in the game, and they're still charging the same amount of money that they were charging 10, 15 years ago. So how are you talking about retirement when I believe that barbers have a certain peak,
Yeah.
right? Because the older you get, your crowd changes,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and the cheaper your haircuts start getting.
Yeah.
So that's just something that I've never gotten as a person when I hear barbers that've been in the game for so many years saying, "Well, I'm tired of this. I can't wait to be able to retire." Da, da, da. And I said, "Man, that's nonsense. That's always hit my head." And I've always thought about it. Why think about retirement and not actually do something to bring value into the industry to where it brings more revenue for you, so you don't even have to think about retirement. Make
And
sense?
and that's where all these shows and these classes and these other avenues if you think about it, in our age now we started, so by the time that it's time for retirement, it's just maybe retirement from cutting hair, but not retire from the industry. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Everything I invest is back into the industry. Guess that's all I know.
that's dope.
It's all I know. Like I don't care to know other anything else really, man, because it's I feel like this is the route that I want to go, bro. I'm here for the long run.
So, have you shared your vision and your purpose, which um, I haven't heard, right? What is your purpose for this industry, right? But have you shared this with your kids, with your family? Obviously, I believe that when you're doing stuff in an industry like this, I think you got to involve your family, which I see a lot of people in this industry, like big name people that are well known. Because I don't believe that there's anybody bigger than anybody, right? But well known people in this industry that actually involve their family. I've always learned that when you're passionate about something and you're on a mission for something, you got to involve your family so they understand where you're going and where you're heading, so they're able to have your back with it. Have you ever spoken about this? What's your passion? What is your purpose in this industry?
To leave a stamp. To leave a stamp. I wanna be left as, man, that dude like definitely, definitely did the shows, did his thing. And I actually want them to continue even after I pass. That's how long I want to stay around. I
That's
want this, what I'm saying, to be elevated. And this is something that my clients know, my family knows, my second half knows. You know what I'm saying? This is something that if you're gonna get close to me, like I tell people, this is the direction I'm going. You know what I'm saying? The whole time I'm going for it, going for it, going for it. Once in a while, yeah, life, you slow down a little bit, you might veer off, but at the end of the day, like I'm still going. You know what I'm saying? So if you see the vision, cool. If you don't see the vision, cool.
yeah.
But I ultimately see the vision, and I'm so
The, but
stuck to. I'm
the
stuck to it.
the vision was made for you to see it, not nobody else. You know what I mean? Nobody's
No,
gonna.
yeah, but I'm an open book. I'm an open
Yeah,
book, and a lot of people say, oh, don't say a lot of things about yourself. But I feel like you can give somebody a book, and they can read it, and some people won't even catch it.
yeah.
So
So
I'm an open book. So at the end of the day, you
everybody's
can't say,
gonna
oh, Ray,
understand it a different way.
and you
Yeah,
can never say, oh, Ray, you never said no. I already told you this is the route that I'm going. And years, and everybody that knows me have seen, they're like, man, bro, you have stuck to your guns. And I'm like, because I don't not looking for nothing else.
that's so
i'm
good.
I'm still focused on, bro, I still have so much more to do. I got still so far to go.
We all do. We all do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there always has to be a beginning to an
100.
end. You know what I mean? There always has to be a beginning. I think you're heading the right way. I think you're putting in a lot of work, man. Um,
I appreciate that.
and definitely, I know that there's certain people that you want to work with in the future. Who's
100,
certain people you
100.
want to work with in the future?
Me, bro, I feel like I'm not gonna have enough years to work with everybody. I have so many people that I want to work from, bro. Think about it, now opening the Florida book. You know what I'm saying? You got Nando all the way up from Jacksonville. You know what I'm saying? You got John all the way down from Miami. You know what I'm saying? You got local cuz down there. You got Miami Barber. You know what I'm saying? I'm working with Stilo. We still got Thompson. We got Chris Cuts from Tampa. We got Freeway Savage from Tampa. Yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like
Appreciate it.
Dawo, you know what I'm saying? Masa, I would like to also work with the celebrity team from Orlando, eventually bring them in. You know what I'm saying? Like I would, if whoever's down to work with, I'm gonna hit one way or another, I'm gonna go down the list. You know what I'm saying? I'm also talking to Kano Humble from JRLs. You know
You're
what I'm
yeah.
saying? So I have a lot. I have a lot that I'm gonna keep working with. It's just I feel like I don't know. It's crazy, man. Like if I give if I can't give all the names.
There's so many dope people in this industry,
And
man.
upcoming
Um,
barbers as well, bro. Upcoming barbers in
yes,
schools.
but we gotta be responsible for the new era, right? And for the older ones that don't want to change, we gotta be responsible to be able to make a difference to see it make it possible for them, right? Because I believe that once one person opens up the door, the rest of the people will come through. I believe
Yeah.
that 100%. And that's also something that I always talk about as one of my purposes. Be able to open up doors, because I know once you open up doors, everything else changes. Um, Talk to me about how you dealt with this whole COVID-19, how 2020 started. Obviously, I know you invested a lot of time, a lot of money. How have you been able to stay so positive to be able to create this next event that's coming up? Obviously, already having a date for next year on Top Notch. For those that don't know, stay tuned, because there's so many things coming up with Top Notch. I believe this is not going to be the only year. Last year, there's so much. There's bigger plans with this. What is it? How is it that you've been able to get through this whole thing?
2020, bro. 2020. Well, we're recording this on 2020. So when I go back and look at this, I'm like, damn, bro. 2020 started off, bro. It's crazy because 2019 finished off so like explosive.
Yes, I
The
remember.
2019, bro, it was just like I was straight momentum. And it's crazy that I was straight momentum into the last week before the event when I got hit by the email that, oh,
1 week. You were 1 week away. I
1 week,
remember.
one
One
week
week
away,
away.
bro.
We were
And
going that.
it was kind of one of those deals. It's like, imagine, I don't even know, pick whatever is the favorite hobby you got, fishing, racing, and you were about to throw that last cambio or you're about to reel in that fish and it snaps. It's kind of, you just look at it. You're just like, that's how I looked at everything. I just kind of sat there and was kind of like, I can't overreact. You know what I'm saying? What was I gonna do? But
Yeah,
I told
and you have so many big companies that invested, that believed in what you were doing because they seen your hard work. You had people, I'm gonna mention them. They don't pay us for this. They paid you for the event, obviously, right? Like people like Rhoda, they believed in what you
myself,
were doing,
Bayless,
which they're coming up really, really, really hard.
yeah,
Babyless, JRL, those companies like that, they believed in everything you were doing. Fading the Seas with Barber Vacations,
yeah,
which was something that myself and Seabass Cuts were actually organizing with Shark Fade and them, and everything went downhill too. You had what other companies you had?
Wisdom,
Wisdom,
Revival, Beauty
yes,
Katana, Sean Casey Academy, Boom's Barbershop with his book. He was gonna come in, Booms. Um, Bro, and I had a couple more sponsors. I had financial advisors that invested money. Yeah, man, it was crazy because, and on top of that, we all sold over 100 tickets for general admission.
wow.
Over, like we were, I was like, oh my, like it's crazy because a lot of people wait. The later the day, more people were buying tickets,
Five
and then
tickets, yeah,
like couple of weeks before everything starts slowing down because everything on the news starts going that
everything was shift,
shutting
yeah.
down, so nobody knew what the hell was going on. We had people flying. I had two barbers that bought tickets from Russia. They had to cancel because of the COVID. They weren't even able to travel no more. I had people coming from Louisiana. North Carolina. There was a lot of people coming from all over, but New York. I had a buddy who was going to show up from New York, Texas. So the hype was there, and the money was coming in, and it's crazy because not until this day, nobody has asked for like a refund. Nobody has reached out. Everybody's like, "Yo, our tickets are good for next year." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." Everything is. I moved it. I was gonna do it in June, but seeing how long this was stretching out, I said, "You know what? Let's just move it to March again." Because I like March.
Yeah.
March is not a hot month. It's not too close to the holidays, and it's far away. It's a good month, you know.
So is that a
So
month that you're gonna see? I know it's probably too far to be talking about this, right? But I believe in casting into the vision, right, and looking into the future, right? Is that a month that you're looking into to actually keep it for top notch in the near future? Is there something that's gonna change? Or,
March. If I can make a stamp, March will be the month for top notch.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
March. I
Um,
love March.
and I seen your layout. We actually went and seen the place together at the convention
Yeah,
center.
remember? Yeah.
It was definitely a great place with big potential. In a small town that a lot of people probably don't know, probably you heard about it, but a lot of people I believe have never visited Punta Gorda. I think it was an awesome experience.
Appreciate it,
Uh,
man.
it was going to bring in business into the area. That's pretty cool too. Uh, but this whole COVID thing just really,
Yeah,
really caught
man. Yeah.
everybody off guard.
And I already had a plan that after the show, I was gonna take a week or two off. Like I was just gonna just chill, go to a show, but like just chill, bro, because I've been running for a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I remember some. You went from October all the way to March, man. Just think about it. He had over 100 tickets sold within just that amount of time, and he had already started working with big companies, like I said, with big name companies. At the same time, he had a seminar going on before the event. He had a pre-party. I remember you had a cup
Yeah,
party.
we were gonna do a cup party the night before, already set up. So that is still gonna happen. And the same thing, I'm doing one for the show not coming in September, but yeah, we're still gonna do the cup party. I was planning that, and then the show, the class in the morning, and then the barber battle in the afternoon.
So
Yep.
how'd you handle all that? Did you go through any of the, how did you really handle that? I think that's really tough, putting in so much time. Within that amount of time. Think about October to March. What was it? 6 months. Six. Wow. Game plan.
That's it.
Game
That's
plan.
it. This had everybody's number. This had every meeting that I did, every phone call that I did. Uh, like anything that I thought about the battle was in the book. Any conversation I left off, okay, this time we talked about this. So if I have to call them back, I look, we're like, oh, okay, we're in the middle of talking about this. And it's just something
It's
that
so crazy because I remember when I went to the times I went to Punta Gorda, you always carried the notebook with you, and that's very important, man. I think a lot of barbers should be taking notes like that. If you're watching this video right now and you're not taking any notes from anything that you're saying, you're you're doing yourself no justice. That's all I have to say. All right, because this guy is giving out so many bars, he's giving out so many nuggets out. He's telling you guys how he's been hot from where he was, a man to be able to have so many excuses to be able to say, I cannot do it because I'm a single father with three kids. I can't do this, and he's been fighting against all odds. One thing that I've seen that you've kept your head up, man, this whole not once I've seen you complain. And it really shocks me because, putting in so much time, like I said, in just that small amount of time from October to March is like 6 months. 6 months, right? It's about like 6 months. going into into 2020 hype. Man, I'm about to have this event, da da da. To where everything just crumbles down a week before the state decides to close down the whole entire state, close down all the barbershops. I remember we closed March 21st. We were told to close, and your event was on the 28th. I
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah.
Um,
I had to cancel hotels. I don't.
everything. So
What
how'd you
helped?
deal with that? How do you keep yourself so positive and come
Because
back hard after this whole situation and start this other event coming up now?
okay, if you watch sports, if you're anything like in metaphors, imagine the team that is hungry and lost by 1 point. So they're gonna reset for next year because they know they're like, yo. So mentally, I feel like the event happened.
Okay.
I told myself, there was so much love. There was so much people, bro. I tell you, it was so much further than what I ever expected. That even though it didn't happen, but everything stopped in place, as in financial, as in everything got stuck. It couldn't have happened without everybody else because nobody
Yeah.
asked. You know what I'm saying? So everybody kept it paused. So I just felt like it paused. Like I felt in my heart, I felt like okay, 2020 happened. So then I've already said, you know what, with that money, let's just rebook for next year. And so I called her quick. I'm like, let's book for next year. She's like, oh, it's open. The same, it's this year was going to be the 29th. Next year will be the 28th. So it paused. So now, this year I was going to do, you saw 2 halls. Now next year, I'm already planning for the 3 halls.
Oh, level up.
I'm
That's what I'm
opening
talking
up
about.
now.
Level
I
up.
got this much time. You know what? I'm gonna. If I got that much hype, imagine setting up a whole year ahead and now bringing the hype big. So yeah, it did hurt. It didn't happen. It did hurt. I was like, man, you know, I had that moment to myself, but I'm a believer of everything happens for a reason. So I just rolled with it. I'm like, you know what, God, this is out of my hands. It's not something that I said I'm not gonna do a show. Everybody. I felt like everybody was there, bro, because everybody was so focused on it that I felt like it happened. So it helped me be okay with it. And on the top of me kind of being afraid with this whole COVID, my girls have asthma. So it's kind of like, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, this needs to stop. We need to focus on this right now. You know what I'm saying? There was no toilet paper and the freaking
I remember that.
Walmart
Yes.
or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here focused on the show and there's no
Yes.
toilet paper. So I got to change my focus a little bit. You feel me? So everything happened to the point I'm like, okay, I can't overreact. I got to refocus next year.
That's so dope, man. I'm glad that you said that. Leveling up is the biggest thing. You didn't let anything stop you. Now you're coming with a bigger mentality, bigger and stronger. I think now your network has grown so much bigger too. People have seen, like I said, how you've been working, and I've seen a lot of people that want to work with you.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think you've earned that respect to actually have that courage to level up and go into three venues is dope. Not knowing what's gonna happen, not caring
yeah,
about your odds, not caring about what your excuse is gonna be. So I like that, man. That's so dope. And I seen, like I said, now you're coming up with this other one now where you're teaming up with big companies like Hanzo, um, working with big people, bringing it back home, right? That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, with the class, what happened was is like I said, last year I had the tricks of the trade. I did the class with one of my friends, one of my longtime friends, Manny Cabrera. He's also my tattoo artist. Shout out to Manny. Um, and we did the class. with 1 month of advertisement, we had like 28 people there that showed up, professional barbers. So I was like, wow, food included. We did a little thing, it was, cool, $25. I mean, we had fun for like 2 hours. People were talking about it for months, you know what I'm saying? So being that it's September again, being that I wasn't able to do top notch, um, I just, with everything going on and seeing how COVID, yeah, it's still around, but it started like phase one, phase two, and now it gets to the point I'm like, all right, guys, you guys are on your time, I'm on a different time right now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that by then it's not so crazy, and which is already happening. But I approached Stilo because he was going to do the class, Platinum Revolution for the top notch. So, seeing that he was gonna do, I hit him back up. I'm like, hey man, I know it didn't happen this year. Do you think we could do something in September? Can you come to my shop? And he's like, yeah, I'll come over there. He's like, but I'm not gonna do platinum. I'm gonna do Trendsetter. I was like, what? So then I was like, you know what? Let me talk to the convention center. So I hit up the convention center, and they're like, oh yeah. Well, you know what? We'll give you one whole hall. And I'm like,
Oh,
okay. So now everything is just happening. So then I hit up Twin Cuts, and I was like, yo, Twin, the show that it wasn't able to happen, and I want to start a momentum. The bicycle starting to pedal a little bit faster. Let's jump, let's move forward a little bit. And I hit him up once, the same thing with Stilo. He was like, let's do it. So then I hit him up. I was like, oh, I was going to be with Stilo. He was happy. I told Stilo it's going to happen with Twin. He was happy. And I was like, okay, cool, awesome. So then with Ivan, the same thing. I've been going to his classes for years. We've been talking. I hit him up too. I was like, Ivan, I got Stilo coming. I got Twin coming. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be in Punta Gorda. It's going to be at the convention center, da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, you know what? He was like, let's run it. At that point, I got 3 heavy hitters. Just let's do it. They're ready for COVID to be over, and they're ready to get back to the normal and part of the industry. And they're jumping with a motivated individual.
Mm-hmm. That's dope, man. And like I said, I got much respect for Bone, Twin Cuts. They've been doing a lot in the industry for quite a while now. And they're well known, in the industry. Like I said, same thing as Stilo. So that's actually dope that you're actually doing that. And like I said, bringing it back home, which is, I know that's always, we've had this conversation several times, and you always said one of my goals is to put Punta Gorda on the map. You always said that I want to put Punta Gorda on the map.
I've been over here for over 20 years. So I figured, the least I'm gonna do is show my neck of the woods what vision I have.
Yeah. That's dope, man. That's dope. And you've been, to over 20 years. How long you been in the industry?
I've been cutting hair about 10 years now, man.
That's dope.
I've been
So
cutting hair.
What'd you do before that?
I was an electrician.
Ooh,
I used to run wire, bro. New houses.
You need to run wires and batteries through
Bro, it's
machines
crazy.
nowadays.
And it's crazy because I was working at a construction site, and this guy looks at me. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to be like you. I want to be a foreman." He's like, "You don't want to be like me." And I'm looking at him like, man. He's like, "Look at me. I'm 50 years old, and I'm in the trench with you." That's when I was like, "All right, hey, you guys looking for students?" Like it clicked. Because your parents tell you, and you're like, yeah. But it clicked at that moment. I looked at him, and I'm like in the hole with him, side by side, sweating, fucking sun. I was like, all right, you got me. And thank God it happened when I was young. You know what I'm saying?
And look at yourself now. Now you're a business owner. Flying Dutchman. Shout out to the guys at Flying Dutchman. They showed me that love when I went out there. You know what I mean? That's much respect. The hospitality was awesome when I went to Flying Dutchman. So if you're in the area of Punta Gorda, make sure you go check out my boy Rayzfadez at Flying Dutchman.
Doors open to everybody.
So they're doing color, as you guys see. Talk about color. Talk to me about this platinum, bro. Like everybody's talking about, yo, Ray. He did his beard blonde. He did, yo. Show us your hair. Show everybody what.
Well, I cut off my hair. I'm gonna come with something new for that.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
he got
yeah.
some secret sauce under
I
there.
cut it,
But
bro.
talk to me about this, bro. Like, bro, don't take it offensive, but bro, Pirates of the Caribbean, like the guy with the beard. I'm gonna post a picture right now so
Barbosa.
people know what I'm talking about. Tell me Ray Fade does not look like this guy right now. No disrespect, Ray.
You're good, bro. You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
You're good,
What is going on with that beard, bro?
bro. It's just
What made you do that? Why
just
not the eyebrows too?
you know what, and that was a joke about it, bro. We started off with the hair because we're taking all this color class. I'm like, you know what? Let's tap in. So we tapped in. We've been messing with different color formulas, and now we got it. So I see my hair all platinum, and I'm looking at them like, yo, what about the beard? And they were like, nah, don't do the beard, don't do the beard, bro. So one day we just sat in there, went in there, boo, 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 and bro, and it happened on a Friday, the most busiest day. I had a 30-minute gap, and I looked at my brother. I already started mixing the bleach, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Here, apply this, bro." It was the most lengthy process I have been through, bro. To tell you the truth, this was crazy, bro. We had to bleach it like almost 4 times. We had to color it, bro. We colored it twice, and the color, look, you see, it looks gray up here, and it's just this down here does not want to take color for
That
nothing.
that is crazy. Jack Frost, right there for
Ooh,
people, right? Thank God. Christmas is not around. They probably think you're Santa Claus.
bro, they already call me Santa Claus, but it's crazy because
Uh,
when I'm walking in public, like people don't know how to take it. They don't know how to process the beer
whole
with the
beard.
they just don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I forget about it, and then when I'm looking at them, like, what?
So I'm pretty sure. I know you had it all over social media. I bet everybody was hitting you up like, "Oh, what's going on?"
Bro,
What
people
was
are
the
like, did that
feedback?
hurt?
What was the feedback on that? Like,
Bro, I mean, they coming out with memes strong, bro. I tell you what, they got so many memes out there with me right now. It's crazy, and
um,
I don't know. I'm in every situation, bro. In our industry, our industry is full of nothing but fun and changes and trends, and you know what I'm saying. Do I regret it? Nah. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna keep it. I want to keep it out until it grows all the way out, and then I'll just keep trimming the ends. But I'm gonna keep it.
that's cool, man. At least you're being original. You're being yourself. You're doing stuff other people ain't doing. At least I haven't seen it in my area. I haven't seen it around. So that's pretty cool, man. Your authenticity is crazy. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
bro. I mean, true. Might as well. What's the best canvas in yourself?
yes, that's 100.
You know what I'm
Uh,
saying?
but like I said, man, just keep doing you. Keep putting in the work. Uh, talk to me about. I wanna close this out with asking you certain questions and just be honest. I know a lot of these companies don't pay us or nothing like that. What's your favorite clipper?
My favorite clipper for the record would still have to be the senior, but with the cordless,
The
the
cord
wall,
or with the cord or no cord?
no cord.
No cordless.
No
Awesome.
cord.
That's one of my favorites too. I know there's a lot of big name companies out there, big clippers out there
Yeah.
that
I
are
use them
doing pretty good.
actually. I have JRLs, I have Babeless, I have the Waltz, and I can grab any of them pretty much fade. But if I need to like get them in and get them out, the Wall.
Um, what's what products are you using right now?
Products I got Wisdom, I got his pomade, that I like. I got the mat. Yo, the mat is on point. The powder, I've been messing with the powder. And I'm also using some different gels from like Rhoda. You know, I've been getting into the Rhoda, a little bit of elegance, but Rhoda's been coming out pretty strong with it.
That's pretty cool. So if you can change anything from when you started to where you're at, what would you do?
I would have started when I was younger.
Younger?
Younger.
That's cool.
I would have 18, just start cutting the hair, man. You know, pretty much that, bro. Just start off younger. But from what I did, from my age to now, man, I don't think there's much, bro, because if I change anything, I wouldn't become who I am today. You feel me?
Do you feel that you've done enough to where you're
No,
at now? No?
I feel like I'm behind.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, man. Well, bro, I'm actually looking.
Well, you
I'm
can say
actually,
something short. It doesn't have to be that far out.
yeah. Owning multiple barbershop, but not only barbershops, barbershop names.
So more like a franchise.
More like we got Flying Dutchman, but we also got this, and that.
That's dope. That's
You get
dope.
what I'm saying?
Yes,
Not only Flying Dutchman's, like if it's a barbershop, I own it.
that's dope. So, like I said, man, I don't want to take no more of your time, Ray. I know there's gonna be future. You'll be featured on some of these videos on my channel, right? I know in the
Yeah,
near
yeah.
future. Like I said, thank you for coming on with us and just giving us a little bit of what you've been doing and within how much you've grown within the time that you've been in this industry, especially the last year, because I don't want to say that you haven't grind from the beginning, right? But I've definitely in the year that I've met you, September to September, um, you know, you put in a lot of work, man, and I'm proud of you. Keep it up.
Appreciate that, man.
Remember your purpose. Remember where you want to be at. What your goal is to be uh, in the upcoming years. Pedal to the metal, bro. Pedal to the metal. Keep it up. Make sure, guys. I'm gonna put his Instagram here. Make sure you guys go follow Rayzfadez. One of mine personal. Much love to you, brother. Like I
I
said,
appreciate you,
thank you
bro.
for everything. If there's one thing that you can give these upcoming barbers, give me one nugget before we sign off.
The last one I'll give you, bro. Just don't give up, no matter what. At the end of the day, bro. At the end of the day, as long as God gives me my 2 feet, my 2 hands, and for me to get up, I could be under a tree, wherever. I'm gonna keep going.
That's so dope. You guys heard it from the one and only Rayzfadez, directly from Punta Gorda, Florida. Give it up to him, my boy Ray.
I
We're
appreciate you, bro.
signing
I
on.
appreciate you.
Make sure you follow, you subscribe our channel. There's a lot more videos coming up. Definitely not the last one. So stay tuned for upcoming interviews. I'm gonna be doing Spanish and English. Whatever you guys want to hear, any topics you guys want to hear, anybody you want me to interview, please leave it down in the comment below. Like I said, make sure you hit subscribe and hit that little bell so anytime I put up a new interview, you get notified. Thank you coming from you. This is Nino.